Everybody,
it's
ladies and
9,
gentlemen,
man. We in here.
what's happening? SimpFree podcast.
Yeah, turn it up, B.
Yeah. Let's get that one.
Let him feel that vibe, man.
That one in.
We got the vibe today, man. We need it.
We need more
Yeah,
vibes.
we need it.
Yeah. We talking about you, baby.
Y'all already know, man. SimpFree podcast.
It's hump day.
Yeah, of course.
Hump day evening.
Another
What's up?
Wednesday.
What's cracking?
Another 9 p.m. You know how it
Coming
is.
to you live from West Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Time back. What's up, G?
Man, hey, everybody out there, man.
And who is you? If for people to know,
SimpFree podcast, man. It's that boy Wizz, of course. It's your host, that boy Wizz. My man's to my left or on this other side over here.
Yeah, the boy Slam, you know,
Yeah,
man. Coming at y'all full effect.
Yeah.
Full effect. Don't even put the effort in it. You know what I'm saying? Happy to be here this evening, man. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Whole lot
going on.
God damn it. Whole lot. Episode 52, you know. It's success, a false sense of comfort. We got to ask these questions. We want to have a good conversation. That's all we're here for. This show is for the people, especially everybody that's joining us live right now, all our day ones, everybody that catches later, the replay. We appreciate everybody.
We love you.
And we thank you, you know.
Yeah,
we just
man,
building this channel day by day, and crazy shit happening. We would like to have our opinion out here. It's a good time to just talk some shit and get away for a minute, you know.
Yeah,
everybody going through all type of shit right now.
Let's chop it up. If you're in the crib chilling, chop it up with us for a minute.
Yeah,
we
please
just
do.
Shoot some shit.
Please do. We all about the people.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, what's up, Ray?
Yo.
Good boy Ray. What's up, family?
Hey, brother-in-law. It's
Shanika.
always love, my guy.
Hey.
You already
Terry,
know what time
nice to
it
see you,
is.
Miss Williams. Thank you for joining. Ashley, what's up? What's up?
Terry Williams.
Yeah, what's up, Ray? Yeah, you know we about
Ashley.
to do it, man. We're gonna try Black Spider.
Black Spider. What's up, my guy?
going on,
Hey, you
fam?
already. Hey, that's fam right there.
What's
you
up,
already
fam?
know, bro.
Yeah, so
Woo!
there's a lot going on, man.
Holy shit!
What you got to go?
Holy shit! It's uneventful, right?
Very uneventful.
What the hell, man? Since our last show, it's like every show, it like progressively. Well, we took a hiatus for about 3-4 weeks, but
We had to. It was necessary.
yeah, but it's like every week some more crazy shit pop off, man. Like
It
what
don't
the
stop.
hell is going on? Right now, we are in controlled chaos. Don't you think so?
Yes,
Controlled chaos, bro.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, like we here. Like, oh my fucking goodness.
I don't, first of all,
Let's get
y'all,
into it,
y'all
man.
probably already know what we're talking about. I don't know how you guys think of what information you have or what perception on how and why things are happening that you have.
Yeah, that's
But-
a fact.
I mean, anybody with a decent mind can see all of this shit is propaganda. COVID has seemingly become propaganda.
What about COVID, Doc?
What
Are
are
you
you
worried about it
dying
now?
from? No, I've
Are you
never
worried about it?
I was never worried because, again, like I said, I usually don't get sick, but I was still taking precautions because you don't play with shit like that. And they were saying people were dying, and they're still saying that.
So it has to spike, though, right?
Something happens.
It has to spike,
Something
right?
is happening, but
The level of COVID should spike.
where did COVID go as soon as people started rioting and protesting? Nobody mentioned COVID. They didn't even mention COVID in the facet of those people being together. All it was is footage of the violence and footage of the bullshit. COVID went out the window during protests. Worldwide. I didn't hear shit about COVID. Now they're slowly starting to come back to mention it again.
But here's the whole irony of the whole thing. Like, everybody is putting this Black Lives Matter shit up, and they're making it seem like everybody cares about Black lives when all that had to happen was the right thing to happen. Like, all 4 of them officers that's complicit should have been charged. It took to what's today's date? The 3rd of June?
Yep.
It took to today for all officers to be charged. Like, that's and that just should be just simple justice. You know what I mean? So the fact that it took all of this uprising and all of this bullshit to happen for 4 officers to be charged, you already know it's a scam, man. Yeah. Like, seriously. And then they I heard they upgraded that officer Siobhan or whatever the fuck his name is, his old punk ass, they upgraded to 2nd degree when it should be 1st.
Yeah.
It was 3rd, right?
Murder.
Am I correct? Wasn't it 3rd? And now they upgraded it to 2nd?
And then I don't know if you guys heard, but from media outlets and so, they also tried to say that it was a heart attack that he died from. Granted, he had other health conditions and also had methamphetamines in the systems is what was said, or opioids or something of the nature. Don't quote me. But he had something else in the system. But that had nothing to do with the asphyxia that was caused from the knee in his neck. So they tried to say it was a heart attack. Then other autopsies later proved that it was a homicide.
So they're trying to say you didn't see what you saw on video.
Of course they did.
You need an autopsy for that. You don't need an autopsy to know what happened. Allegedly.
Everything.
You know what I mean? It's all type of crazy stuff happening, and I can take a piece of everything. You know what I mean? The farthest outlandish shit, I can listen to it. I may grab a piece of it. You know what I mean? I don't discount nothing, but I really think it's something up to this, man. Like, everybody from state to state, from fucking New England to California to Seattle, everybody is not that fucking organized. And this was very organized.
I was wondering.
Every city.
And that's what I was wondering, like, how the fuck did everybody get so organized and I didn't see a poster?
That shit never happened.
I didn't hear shit.
That shit never happened.
Did you hear anything?
Never happened.
Did y'all hear anything?
Bruh.
Were you guys there?
You
probably heard about it the day of.
Was it like Thursday or Friday? What day was that? When everything like
shit, I forgot.
Friday, but
maybe Friday.
It just hit all of a sudden in every city. Just
I didn't even fucking know.
The shit just caught on. You know what I mean? Here. Like, come on, man. Like, and what's up with this? And do you want to know some more telling shit? Do you remember a couple months ago or a month ago when did you see that video in Chicago with all of those military vehicles going by on the train?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
You know what? And I thought that was going to be for the COVID shit. They was going to like have the shit in each area of the city and force you to try to get vaccines and all that shit. That hasn't happened yet, which still is not out the window. But them that's what it was for. Bruh, it was for this fucking event, this shit to happen. It's like they knew what the fuck was going on, bruh.
Nah,
and then you motherfuckers dropping off pallets of bricks and all this shit. Now, I want to say this, though.
Footage of that. Police officers breaking windows and destructing property, or shall we say, people in uniform that look like fucking police officers to me in police cars with police weapons.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious.
I do love the energy, though, because this has to be done, unfortunately. Somebody's life has to cost this much. If you keep doing this shit instead of prosecuting, you know what I mean? Because all it takes is sending motherfuckers to jail. But they refuse to send the people to jail for doing the simple shit. Like any normal civilian, you won't take doing something, you get in charge for murder, period. But they refuse to do that to these race soldiers that are out here doing this because they have immunity. Well, eventually the public is going to get sick and tired of it, right?
As we can see.
I mean, like, here we are, you know what I mean? So, like, it's almost expected for this shit to happen. So, I do think uprising have to happen. Only people I feel sorry for really is, like, mom and pop stores, any, like, black-owned businesses that got proprietorships. Like, I feel bad for you, but
take all the liability,
time,
for sure.
Like, it has to happen. Like, when it goes down, it's going down. Like, destruction is going to happen. There is no peaceful shit. Like, everything, you ain't going to get your way, and then everything go peaceful like you want it. Unfortunately, everybody has to sacrifice something.
You think it'll never be like that?
But the problem is, I'm tired of our struggle, and I mean black folks' struggle, being put up at the forefront to cause the shit, and then just swept the fuck under the rug. It's like this shit turned into some Black Lives Matter shit when we all know Black Lives Matter was exposed in 2014. The masses of people and black folk, I don't know how y'all feel out there. The masses of folk we don't subscribe to Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? It's just a hashtag at this point. It's already been outed as a white-funded LGBTQ organization. You know what I mean? Like, kudos to them or whatever. Like, I get it. It sounds good. It sounds good. Don't it?
Blacks are still moving. Because it does.
It's game.
It's all associated with that movement.
It's all game, man. You know what I mean? And they taking the movement. They taking the shit that happened to another black guy being killed by race soldiers, and then making it seem like they care when they really don't, but putting that in the name of fucking shit up. And then when they fuck shit up, put Black Lives Matter as if it's black folks doing that. Black folks that is tired of this shit. We not about to put spray paint Black Lives Matter. We might put fuck 12 or fuck the police. You know what I mean? You might put something like that. Ain't nobody putting no Black Lives Matter. We ain't got time for that bullshit. So the shit is co-opted. So it's like it plays on your heartstrings. You know what I mean? That's what I really don't like. This shit playing on your heartstrings. Because I was ready to turn up. Like, I saw everything. I'm for the people. You know what I mean?
But then you had to take a second look, didn't you?
And then you take a step back, and then you start seeing videos of agents, like obviously agents, like you said, like dressed like an agent, breaking windows when it's trying to be peaceful, and we just trying to move down the street and as a unit. You know what I mean? You got motherfuckers going off to the side, breaking windows, and then leaving and walking away. Like, come on, man. And then, like, we got the bricks being dropped off. That's too much, man.
What's that, bait car?
Man, come on, man.
On every level?
Bro, this is a real life movie. Like, seriously, this is like Netflix. Straight up. This is like a Netflix episode in real life. And they want you to believe like it's anarchy and all this fuck shit that people is really on the side of us black folk. Like really, black folk, we all we got. Like this is not gonna change, unfortunately. If they ask for police reform and all that shit, it's all game. You know what all you have to do if you really want to make a change is do this shit when nothing happens. Like don't wait until a motherfucker die. You know what I mean? To pretend like you have compassion. Make a change in the system before it happens. You know what I mean? So that you can prevent the shit. So if you don't do it, it's game. And then to say Black Lives Matter and we're going to do police reform. Police reform is some bullshit. It's already been discovered that majority of the cops are fucking Proud Boys or some form of white supremacists. Like it's been infiltrated. So like their compassion is not there. Like police reform never happened.
You're absolutely correct.
All you have to do is send people to jail. Yeah. Like what's so hard about that? But you keep letting people off, and you think people are stupid.
Right.
I mean, so it had to come to this, unfortunately. You know
Cool Callers. What's good, fam? All right, Cool Caller says something is fishy about this whole thing.
Ain't it?
George Floyd riot, lack of COVID-19 coverage, and all of a sudden, white support. All of a sudden, like George Floyd was the first time a black man was killed. Ray Jones has a fishy face. What's up, Keith? My cousin Keith Kish.
What up, though?
All the way from B-More. How's it going over there, Keith, man? Is it crazy as fuck over there, too?
You know what I'm saying?
Over here in the northwest side of Michigan, it went to shit.
Hey, it's way too organized, bro.
And I have to do this, and I got to do this right now.
Go ahead and do it, bro.
The subject of it.
Yeah.
I want to give the biggest, largest, hugest, fattest fucking kudos to my city, Flint, Michigan, for the way that they handled this entire thing, to the police force down there joining the people. And out of all the people who have more shit to be mad about, poison water, horrible economy, school system is going to shit, there's no support from anywhere, there's not many corporate structures, what do you want to say? And these people came together and they bonded and had the most peaceful, most unifying protest of all that I've seen yet. So big ups to Flint, man.
Yeah,
fuck what niggas talking about.
I'll give a halfway big ups to that because, but I still think that's playing on heartstrings. It's like
it is what it is.
Coming it was out peaceful. There, but they don't give a fuck.
It was still peaceful.
They like you say, that Flint water situation still going on. What the fuck
do you ask for though? Even if it wasn't real, it was still a great example. How about that?
No, I would rather them motherfuckers keep their same energy and really display their heart how they got it and the disdain they have for black folk. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, do shit before it happens. That's when I'll be impressed. Like, I'm not impressed because, of course, you see us turned up and you will get your motherfucking ass whooped if you step out of pocket because that you feel that energy. Of course, you're gonna act right now. But before that, you can have a pop can and then see you throw it on the ground and come over and harass you and say you was loitering or littering. Mm-hmm. And put you in the cop car. You know what I'm saying? The reason we in this situation is for allegedly some counterfeit money. Allegedly. Like, it's really that serious? And then another thing, there was another man with George Floyd. You know what I mean? R.I.P. to George Floyd and all this whole situation. But it's now become bigger than George Floyd now. They done made this shit some whole nother other stuff. And I refuse to believe all these states collectively as a unit had that much disdain for the police and how they treating us black folk. That shit been going on since all of us was born. Everybody that's listening to this broadcast, police brutality and all this shit been going on before we all was born. You know what I mean? So right. For it now to happen, it's like I'm happy that it's happened because destruction and mayhem has to go down. It's part of the revolution.
However,
but it's not organic no more.
At some point.
You know what I mean? It's not organic. This shit it's a whole nother feel, and it's very weird. And
it is weird.
It's entertaining though. You know what I mean? It's very fucking entertaining. I had fun. Did you see my man on the horse in Chicago? Bruh, and I saw a hippo loose in Chicago. Let me tell you something. A hippo is worse than 30 cops. Do you hear me? I would rather take the cops on than the hippo. Nigga, I'm telling you, if you get in front of a hungry hippo, your ass is about done. Do you hear me?
Man, this ain't fucking Parker Brothers.
Did you see that shit in Chicago? Yeah, seriously, they had a hippo loose on the street.
Yeah, and they had lions and tigers.
Man, Chicago, yeah. Hey, salute to Chicago. They took it the farthest out of anybody. My man on that police horse was fucking phenomenal.
That was crazy.
Like, really, like, where the fuck did he do that?
Books for a long
and then
time,
my man had the monkey chilling.
Yeah.
It almost looked like his pet, so I'm like, man, yeah, right. That monkey would have scratched the fuck out of him. That man, a wild monkey.
Monkey wasn't that wild, bro.
Are you nuts? Shit. A Zoot, man, you crazy as hell. I'm not touching none of them.
Obviously it wasn't. It was sitting in his arms like he done it before. Yo, Ray Jones say small business is not a part of the machine. That's a big point, Ray. So people who tore up those small businesses and all that shit.
Hey, man.
It was bad.
That's just casualty of war.
And they had the nerve to say you got insurance. But does anybody want to lose all their product? Does anybody want their shit torn down? Does anybody want to have to take another 6 months to rebuild?
No. But
when you've been building that shit for years, who the fuck wants to do that? Now, granted, some people it may have helped. Some people's like, yo, we was going to redo this shit anyway. Thank you. But now it's like the ones who didn't, they suffering.
But this lets you know who all talk and who bought it. Because if you really about that revolution and you really about that action, this is part of it. Mm-hmm. Casualty, I mean, like, shit just got to get messed up, unfortunately. Because nothing else is going to be respected. And another thing, like, if you can go up to a police officer and literally look at him the wrong way, right? And he will pull you over. So if a police officer catch you setting a police car on fire, bruh, it's not no more rubber bullets, motherfucker. These is AK rounds. These is rifle rounds coming at you. These is AR-15s at your ass.
You think
there was no gunplay. Can you imagine setting a police precinct on fire?
Yes, they did that.
There's police precincts that burnt up in this shit. Think about it. If you set a police precinct on fire, can you imagine the heat that's gonna come on you? It's like they sat back and watched this shit happen. Seriously, that's the only thing that you can get out of this bullshit. We've never seen nothing like this.
Like, and then the shit started after everybody been fucking caged in the house after a pandemic. What the fuck did they think people was gonna do with that energy? Man, they fucking.
Thank you.
What's the word? Shit.
The arrogance.
They poaching niggas, man.
The arrogance, like
they putting the bait out. They bait car and windows. They bait car and bricks. They bait car and all kind of opportunities for people.
Motherfuckers took the bait.
Anarchy. And then the police pissed, automatically assuming this. Yo, man, hold on, man. Cherie Tober, how you doing?
What up, everybody?
Keith say real shit. My cousin Keith over in B-More, he say they trying to stay peaceful. I hope so, man. That'd be nice. Black Spider was good, man. 4D movie. Say that. That's what it's looking like right now. Tony Rain out here say it, G. The turn up needed to happen.
It had
Peaceful
to.
Protests didn't shake up the world. That's real shit. That's true.
Peaceful protests don't never get nothing changed.
And see, that's the
affecting the economy changes everything. When you affect the economy, that's when you get change. But it's too organized now. It scared me.
Right.
I'm not with it.
Ashley say they definitely crazy for letting those animals out. I would have been scared of my life for my life. Lions walking in the streets and shit. Yeah, I'm straight on that
man,
too.
You run into a zoo animal, you in trouble. You
Black Spider talk about Hood Lion King.
Like, man, what the fuck? A hippo on the street? I hope that was fake. I
just hope that was casualties of war. Oh, Hood Tiger King. It is a casualty of war for sure. That's definitely the truth, man. I'm still saying that peaceful was the way to go, and those who could accomplish that, great.
You say peaceful was the way to go?
If you could, yeah. I guess obviously peace don't bring change. Is that what y'all trying to say?
I'm gonna be honest, but I thought that's how it was gonna go in Minnesota. I thought it was gonna go like the same old, like in the city,
just marching words.
Like people was going, people was gonna turn up in that city, and that was gonna be. I didn't think it was gonna spread from city to city to city.
How did that happen though?
Like we need to take playbook out of this though. Like, whether it was coerced or not, that is how you organize, though. That is how shit has to go down. And another thing is, you got to be willing to lose everything. Like,
who organized
that's the thing. It just fucking happened. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows where it comes.
I think when it's a revolution and it's really going down, I think you really go as a people, you can feel it. You know what I mean? You'll be able to tell when that shit is real. Like, seriously. So I don't know. This is just a movie and we watching it at this point. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't got the answers. Like, you can think I'm completely full of shit, but everybody seems to be on the same page. Everybody know this is some bullshit. It's some bullshit that have been sprinkled in this shit. Like, but we don't know. We ain't privy to the knowledge though. It's not for us. You know what I mean? So we just got to sit here and watch. But everybody doing this shit at the same time, yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying.
Never.
How the fuck did that happen?
Never.
Never.
That's but they think we dumb. They think the people are dumb, bro. You know what I mean? Before this internet and before you can all this shit spread like that, and the energy change, that's another thing. When they say the revolution is not televised, in the minds, I'm telling you, people that's born in the 70s, like 75 and up, the energy It just changed. Like we're more inquisitive. We just not taking what you give us. We researching. The research is out here. You know what I mean? Due to that's what I'm saying. This internet is a gift and a curse, man. It's like there's a code happening without it really happening. Like we need it to happen on a bigger scale. But more people is getting information and more people is really questioning this shit now. Before people were scared to question shit, you just took it. You know what I mean? And if the information came to you, you just said, "Oh well, you know, that must be it."
Say that's what it is.
Yeah, but now ain't nobody dealing with that bullshit no more, man. I think that's really what it's about. And here we are, bro. You know what I mean? So everybody be safe, man. Like keep your head on a swivel. Hey,
I don't think nobody's turning up no more, man. I think the turn up is over.
Just like you say with the COVID, it's gonna be interesting to see this because if they don't announce the number spiking, because everybody was together, everybody was in them streets. You know what I mean? So everybody, that means that COVID had a much easier chance to spread, right?
Hunching. Everybody's in the streets hunching.
So if they leave that word dormant and don't say nothing about it, then we know what type of game that is. There's nothing else to be said about that. So I want to, of course, I want to give a salute to somebody that invented some shit that was needed during these weekends. You know what I mean? My man, his name is Garrett Morgan. Is anybody familiar with Garrett Morgan? No?
Yeah, hold on, man. Let me get these comments before you get into Garrett Morgan.
Go ahead.
Ashley said the horse that they took in GR, they tied up behind Miss Tracy's and was trying to sell it.
Wait. I didn't even know they took a horse in GR. I just seen this shit in Chicago. They took a horse in GR? Holy shit.
And Black Friday.
Man, leave them horses alone, man, please.
He comes with the Martin's approach been done. We tapping into Malcolm. That's what it seems like, my brother.
Got to.
That's what it's leaning towards, man. People just ain't going for the okie doke no more. But I still think it's a larger scale setup out here that, you know, that's going under the radar. This shit didn't just organize it fucking self. We ain't even tapped in enough to understand how each other feeling when we having a conversation, let alone just fucking energize up and be like, oh, they're protesting. I should go. Like, nah. Somebody organized this shit somehow, and we don't know who the fuck they was. And then all hell broke loose everywhere. Who organized that?
But it's wickedly brilliant, though. Because, hey, listen, when you first saw it, though, didn't you feel good about it? You felt like it was an uprising, and you was like, yeah, like we with the people.
Right.
And then all the other shit come out, and it's like, oh, shit. Here we go again. You know what I'm saying? But your first initial, most people, if you really about change and you really want shit to be done, you was with it. You was like, bet. Like, this has to go down until, you know, the wool was taking over eyes. You know what I mean? Until the light came. This is 2020, so you're going to see the bullshit, and it's going to be revealed. And now it's revealed, and here we are, man. But a lot of people don't want to believe you. They think you a conspiracy theorist or some shit. You know what I mean? That's the sad part.
Well, they can think what they want, man, but
a lot of people, you gotta get left behind. If you left behind, you just left behind. But like I said, I want to give it up to my man Garrett Morgan, man. He basically created the gas mask, bro.
Oh man, you know what year was this?
That was used like thoroughly. You know what I mean? It's called Garrett Morgan's he first created the safety hood. It was used to help firefighters navigate smoky buildings, later modifying it to carry its own air supply, making it the world's first effective gas mask. You know what I mean?
What?
He also had the good sense to add a third position to the traffic signal. And yes, there was a time where the traffic signal, it was just two. It was just green and red. Yeah. He added the yellow. You know what I mean?
I know the boy didn't give you some anticipation movement.
Garrett Morgan, man.
About to turn red. Slow it down.
Yeah, I don't have the year he patented that motherfucker, but look him up, man. So I just want to give salute. I love giving a salute to people, man.
Stolen.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
All right, then. Okay.
So
I like that. I could do that.
So shit happening to black folk, man, that's going on right now. Do you feel like being born black, do you feel you automatically food for the system?
Food?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't.
You don't? You don't feel like there's a system that's in place? So just because of the color of your skin, you already have adversity and you're already facing a system that is against you.
I don't think that I know that.
You don't think you're food for the system?
I don't think I'm food for the system, but I know how the system is designed and I know what it's designed for. But I'm not moving in that direction of the particular system because you got multiple systems.
Yeah.
You got a system in which you can lead to live the American dream and create generational wealth if you know what you're doing, if you educate yourself, and then you got another system where you can either lead to prison, of course, prison reform. That system where your ass get locked up for good, which is an easy direction for people of color.
And that's a needed, and that's the thing, like, and that's where I think that Black Lives Matter shit come in handy. Like, yeah, like if you want to say Black Lives Matter, it matters for the system, as if we are feeder fish for fucking piranha. You know what I mean? That's what your Black Lives Matter has. You know what I mean? Because there are systems in place to trap you, and you are needed. Like the prison system, they can't wait to trap black folk in the prison system.
That's how they make their money.
You know what I mean? It's a big racketeer, and people really need to sit back and think about it. Like, yeah, Black Lives Matter, but it's really like it matters because we need to use you. We need you. Like, who else are we gonna practice our white supremacy on? Like, if black people went away, they'd be like the white supremacists. They would be sad.
When you say practice, like they're just playing, like they're just trying it out, or you mean like just
they don't want to do it? Yeah, other white folks, they ain't really trying to do it. They ain't no fun.
On the line. They ain't no tryout.
That ain't no fun because they already got the resources. They want to subjugate and fuck over people. That's where the fun comes. Yeah. So if black people just went away all as a collective,
that'll never happen.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
It's fucking impossible.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
but for somebody to wish that though.
They do.
But why the system wishes that on you. Let somebody explain to me, why is the culture so highly adored? Why is the culture so highly adored, but they don't want the people who created the culture? Doesn't that seem like that's a ancient tale?
Bro.
Is that tale really old? That's an old tale.
The first person to figure that out is going to be a motherfucking quadrillionaire.
Yeah, actually.
Nobody's figured it out yet.
We knew what you were trying to say.
You know what I'm saying?
Sweetie. Cool Colas. It feels buzzy to me, to be honest. The first thing that made me raise an eyebrow was hearing white folks post about George Floyd without considering Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery in the same year. Right. Something happened in the wake of this where it seems like middle America seemed to have come out for some reason. What was it that triggered? Yeah,
you know what I mean?
People of white culture to come out
about this time. What brought the emotion now out of all the other ones that didn't?
Is it because let me state this though, because we got to keep it 100 here.
Yeah,
we got to keep it 100 here.
Yeah,
we are what they consider millennials. I hate to say it. I'm 37.
We are. So yeah,
I'm a millennial.
We millennials,
whether we like it or not.
Yeah,
and then the people under us and younger than us are also millennials as well, and we make up a large percentage of the population right now, right? Supposedly, and the older crowd, they're moving out of the way. And then now you got the millennials who aren't really as racist, aren't really just as separate. I'm talking about the youth itself. Like,
a little more mindset.
Our age,
a different mindset.
You know what I mean? If you look at the diversity in the schools here in West Michigan alone, it's a broad diversity of blacks and whites and people, all cultures mingling all the time.
The system of white
so what I'm saying is that the youth is now, so now the people that are coming out are younger, and it's like, hold on, man, they right. This is my homie. I've been kicking it with them since middle school.
Different energy.
And y'all killing black people. This is the time for me to come out. So I can see that happening in the sense of it's a new age in far as people ain't as racist as their parents or their grandparents and so on. That shit is diminishing a bit, but there's still powers that be that are passing that shit on generationally. But I think as a whole, when people are fucking with each other a lot more, man.
But the problem is the system that
because also the internet makes the world a lot smaller too. So people are mingling all the way through. Motherfuckers traveling like crazy. People trying to get on in other parts of the world. I mean, it's a different ball game.
But look at the news though. Look at the news. Like that's just perfect.
I try not to look at the news.
Not necessarily look at the news, but I'm saying as in like look at the narrative they paint. When they saw the black people uprising, who didn't start the shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
Who wasn't off-rip breaking windows and wasn't doing the fuck shit at first. They were labeled as looters. And then it came if the looting started, the shooting started. So that's all code words for niggas who's about to die. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that narrative was painted. So that lets you know, like when they say Black Lives Matter, it's all game. But people are coming out in droves and they're protesting with you. So you feel comfort and you feel like these people have your back.
That's
and really are with you. But if they have Black Lives Matters, or if they have, and if they really have all lives matters, you already know what they own. They really don't give a fuck about you. But I really think Black Lives Matter is just that. It's just a hashtag. Like that whole movement has been shown.
It's been corrupted.
Nobody has gave a fuck that's real about that since Mike Brown.
And I know the people that are chanting Black Lives Matter and standing there and protesting for their people and pouring their heart out in their protests. I know what they mean when they say Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, I get it.
But the movement itself that's associated with the hashtag
been co-opted.
is not what we think it is.
Facts.
And do your research. You will find that it's being funded by white millionaires.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't have anything against white millionaires, but these particular ones are using a force that we directly relate to and rely on as propaganda for their own self-gain, and still incite us to create destruction. Because there's only two things: it's creation and destruction. And right now, it's a lot of destruction being created. So, and that's the derivative, and that's what they're trying to do. And see, we're watching the TV, and it's telling us our television, and we're watching these phones, and we're listening to the wrong shit. We're moving on the wrong frequencies, and nobody's fact-checked anything, and nobody's really moving.
But it works.
But then people go down.
It works.
And then you got other people acting a fool, and that energy and shit rub off on you. Now, y'all see how real energy and shit is?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't go down there with those intentions at all. You stayed behind because you wanted to bark a little bit longer after the peaceful people left. But you never intended on breaking shit or setting shit on fire. But here you are around hundreds of others who's doing it, and now you doing it.
Yeah.
And now you are part of the people who came here to infiltrate, to create trouble for us to be in more trouble.
But I can't blame people, though, because when it first jumped off, it played on emotion.
That's my opinion.
It played on that emotion. Like, when it first jumped off,
what the fuck else is it supposed to do? Racism plays on emotion.
But no,
this
that's why I'm saying it's so wickedly
that's
brilliant.
The mechanism behind it.
They
all
got
this
us
emotion.
again. That's what I'm saying. They got us a fucking again. It started off as something genuine, and you felt like all the people was with you, and then all the bullshit come out, and by the time you really unravel all this shit, you realize it's just nothing but another game.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, the energy started off so like, yeah, we for the people, everybody is for it, and then it just get co-opted with some bullshit, and then it just takes the whole energy out of the movement. It's like, I appreciate people turning up and being united on some front as a whole is cool, but like I just can't take that as any type of moral victory. Like, the problem is still there. People are still getting fucked over by people that are paid to protect and serve. Call these police that are race soldiers. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers is still dying. Shit gonna change.
I want to put it like this. And what's up, Hustle Queen? I see you. Thanks for joining. We appreciate it. What up, good people? What up, though? Coca-Cola said, I hear you, but George Floyd wasn't the first non-millennial to get killed in that way. I don't know, man. That's still weird to me. Yeah, and there's some kind of connection between George Floyd and all that shit, too, but I don't know exactly what it is.
All type of shit, man.
But regardless of what the fucking intent was, I know people went down there intended to be peaceful. We've said that. And then we know there was some people who went down there intended to be destructive, and they may not have been, because we found people in this city that were down there tearing up shit weren't from the city.
And that's every city.
So we know that for a fact.
They tore up shit where they don't live at. Yeah.
So the peaceful protest was set up to be infiltrated. It's like I book a show, like a rapper got beef, I book you for a show. You know what I mean? And I get at your ass when you get here. You feel me? It was infiltrated. It's like, come be peaceful and protest so we can act a fool and blame it on the people of color. That's the intent that was behind it. But what happened was, even though that's what it looked like, the government didn't go too ham, thank God, and it backfired in my opinion. Because all the noise that was made globally, because a lot of people, aren't seeing it for what it is in our eyes. They're seeing it as, holy shit, everybody in the world is standing up for black people.
And that's far from the truth.
But
they're using the plight of black people to stand up for black people.
What I'm saying is, if they intended to create destruction and to make shit worse, it backfired on their ass because they brought global attention to an issue that is predominant in America. That should have been brought issue globally a long time ago.
That's the only good thing about
this. But it's happening now,
shit.
And I'm thankful for that. And I'm sorry to those who sacrificed and the people that lost their businesses. That shit is fucked up.
Yeah, anybody lost their business, I feel bad.
It had to happen. And with that said,
but that's about to go down. No, but you're right though. Like unfortunately, like, you hate the energy that it came about, but this is what's gonna have to happen when the motherfucker feel like they can just take somebody's life anytime they feel like it, and when they paid to protect and serve. Like, if every time a cop takes the life of an innocent person, an unarmed person who's already subdued, who you can just simply put in the car, causing no threat. If you feel like you just open and bold, this needs to happen every single time, unfortunately, before a change happens.
You might be right.
But that's my thing. But that's why I hate when people put the Black Lives Matter, because do they really, why does it take all this just to prosecute 4 motherfuckers that are obviously wrong? Like, everybody can see him on video not helping, seeing a man calling for help, and they just sitting there doing nothing. That is the definition of white supremacy and what people have been dealing with. But nobody gives a fuck. And all people wanted was justice. And justice is, okay, all y'all motherfuckers saw it, y'all complicit. But they did not want to do it. They would have not have done it if nobody recorded it. You know what I mean? None of this shit would have happened, and we still at square one, which I think we still are, even though it's on camera. It's always on camera, and nothing happens. You feel me? If it's part of the law, they can change the law. It don't matter. I'm white, I say so. So okay, guess what? So it's like, that's the only part that really drags me down. It's like, you're doing all this shit, but really, is it changing anything? Is the system really gonna give a fuck? Because look at all that had to happen for 4 people that ain't worth a goddamn to be prosecuted. Ain't none of them motherfuckers worth shit. They all was pieces of shit, and they didn't want to prosecute them until the people turned up.
It's a police issue.
So that's where that's why I'm 50-50 on this issue. The energy that's happening has to happen. Yeah, turn up and do whatever the fuck you got to, but at the same time, be smart, because this shit is co-opted. It's co-opted. It's organized. It's motherfucking agents on it.
It's not us that's organizing.
Thank you. And it's not original. It's not grassroots.
It's not us that's organizing it, guys.
Yeah. The energy is gone now. It's not grassroots. So, but here we are. So, do you think there needs to be a black leader? Are you with that?
What do you mean? Like a one man to speak for all of black people? You think niggas gonna allow that, bro?
I'm not.
You think black people gonna have one person speak for all of them?
I'm not with that. Like, there's
no.
There isn't one specific
There's going to be
person.
sectors. There's no way a man of any culture is going to let one man speak for the whole of men.
Salute to my guy Tariq Nasheed. You always say that the code is the leader. Because what happens? Because history just going to repeat itself, right? When you put one person up high on the pedestal, they going to knock his ass off. Yeah. And we're not prepared for shit. And there's nobody in waiting. And then everything goes back to the same thing. So the code is, but people always say, well, who is the leaders and who is stepping up? And I cringe when I hear that. I don't know
who they are.
I used to think like that too, but we all are. All of us can be the leaders if we all move together in unison. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But for a common goal, don't just move in unison just for solidarity. No, you have to be productive.
Understood.
Because moving in unison just together just to do it is stupid. So, you know what I mean? Right. So, but at the same, so I'm not with all that black leadership, but a lot of people preach that. Like, there is no leader for any other race. Like, the leader is the code, and that's just how it be. And I'm happy we here. Like, today, 2020, man, this shit is crazy, and like, especially you being a father, you know what I mean? I know. And raising two respectable young boys in this situation, it's crazy. So I feel for everybody, man, and everybody just be on your square, and shit, we here. Like, just watch it. Watch it unfold, because this is a movie. We ain't in control of this shit. For real.
Tony Rain says, whether we do anything or we do nothing, the finger will still be pointed at us.
That's a fact.
Black Spider says he get mad all over again. Cool Cola's like, hell nah. And Black Spider says, I vote y'all to be our mouthpiece. Oh shit, man, you don't want that, bro.
Hey, we way too small of motherfuckers to be anybody mouthpiece, but everybody. But if you listening to us, you listening to us, we all on the same wavelength, man. This shit is like, we all feel the same way, man. A change needs to happen.
Let's do this though.
You feel me,
Spider? If you know anybody else that's using their voice, put us together with them, and we'll start you putting our voices together.
That's a fact, man. This need to happen everywhere, man.
A big ass school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The SimpFree podcast, man. We for the people,
fish
man.
Moving in the same direction.
Yeah, we like to link up, man. We like minds, and we all like this is what this platform is for. What'd you see, B? What you know?
Cherie Thomas said, no, we should not do that at all. Make us mouthpiece.
Hey, listen.
I agree. I totally agree. Thank you.
We break it down in layman's terms, man. You feel me? Like we ain't about that bullshit. We don't sugarcoat. You know what I mean? Shit. Let's get into some shit, man, real quick, man. This is episode. What the fuck episode is this? I done lost 52. Here we are. You know what I mean? Like, that shit done threw me. Man, it's so much. It done threw me off, man.
Yeah, it's all good. So
success. A false sense of comfort. So
is it?
Let me start off with you. Is success an illusion for real?
Nah. Hell,
like, look at the times we in. Like, being successful. How is being successful helping you today?
What do you mean?
Like, you know, like, because you have your bread and you feel like you live in a different tax bracket and you got a different code and all that, but they can just still say you still staying at home, no matter how much paper you got. Mm-hmm. So really, when you think about success, and when you think about success, that's the first thing you think about is having money, being able to do what the fuck you want. But is that really success if you really still controlled by the system? Seriously? Like, doesn't that bring it back home that it's really all about your people and looking out for one another? Like, even all the money in the world, you still ain't under control of your life. Look where we at. Everybody is being told where the fuck they can do. Now, of course, they got more leeway. The more rich you are, of course, you can get away with way more shit. So, yeah, that paper's still going to talk for you. But at the same time, look where we at. All the businesses shut down. It's a lot of business that's been operating for 20, 30 years. They will never come back because the government told them so. You feel me? They were doing very well financially. You feel me? Yeah. So everybody is chasing success, and you feel like that's going to be some type of a freedom. But really, here in America, it's really not.
It's not in any country where there's a government. Do you know there's countries where people work and start businesses and create ideas, and the government takes them all. They take their business ideas. They take their ideas to patent. Like, they work, everything they earn and learn and grow with is given to the government. Everything, bro. They own all the businesses. They own all the churches. They own every fucking thing that these people walk through and spend the money that they're given in. You see what I'm saying? Do your research. That's real shit. There are some dictatorships and some communist governments that own every fucking thing in their country.
But you want to know, but think about how many motherfuckers have really risked their lives and have died for a bag. A monetary determination, a piece of money, just to feel like they are successful for that little bit of time. Just really think about how many people have risked it all just to supposedly change their life and make it, and have a false sense of hope. When really, if you can't sustain your own livelihood, like if you're not putting your people on, if it's not your own business, if you're relying on somebody else. You know what I mean? For your paper. Are you really being successful though? Think about it, because now you have to watch what you say. Well, you can't really be who you are. All of us sacrifice that shit. Everybody sacrifice that shit. If you work for a corporation or any company, you really ain't your true self. So is that really success?
I mean, everybody has their own definition. No, just having money to me is not the definition.
If you're willing to rob your own people, and do whatever the fuck it takes.
That success doesn't come from that.
But look at all the rap songs that talk about robbing the plug. And we look at all the motherfuckers running off on the plug and making that culture cool. You know what I mean?
Man, like everybody, these motherfuckers that ran off on the plug is dead.
Thank you, but they don't promote that.
Dead as hell.
It's all about the bag. So that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you got the bag, but what did you sacrifice for that bag?
Can't be
how you living for that bag? That's the genesis of this conversation here.
So tell me this:
is that a false sense of comfort?
What's your definition of success, Gordon?
I think success is being able to do what the fuck you want to do unapologetically. You know what I mean?
Whatever the fuck you want to do.
To live your life and express your opinions without having to worry about the opinions of others. So you are self-sustaining. You have a business that you have created on your own. You're able to maneuver and be as boisterous as you want to, or as quiet as you want to. It's your decision. You know what I mean? You can maneuver how you feel. I feel that's success. Success is when you can help your people, hold your people down without anybody judging you or telling you where you can distribute your funds.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: do you feel in a modern world like ours that there doesn't need to be any rules or any governments or regulations in place? Do you feel like the world should be governed by the people, just be like the Wild Wild West? Just motherfuckers do whatever the fuck they want, and if you do something about it, you do something about it. If you don't, you don't.
I mean, that's how it is anyway.
Ain't nobody coming to your aid.
No, like, everybody is doing what the fuck they want to do. But there are laws in place that you have to abide by, but there are people that are going to buck the system and not give a fuck.
No matter what
no matter what system, there's always going to be rebels. Mm-hmm. So it really don't matter. I feel like you should live accordingly, but at the same time, you are responsible for how you act. You know what I mean? You can't act like a fool, and then when motherfuckers come get you, then you act stupid and surprised and want people to help you. When people have been telling you, like, the path you on, bro, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. But you still go down that same path. Like, I feel everybody needs to fall on their own. Like, I want everybody to fail at their own pace. You feel me?
That's how
you have to go through it. And there
success.
is no perfect world. That's my thing. Everybody got to go through it. But everybody wants some type of peaceful place that we all live in. No, it's not. Everybody's going to be racist. Everybody's not going to give a fuck about each other. It's going to be one for all. You know what I mean? Majority of motherfuckers don't show love. That's just where we are. Like, and so that's what gets me so mad about where we are. Like, people think like if you have a certain religion, or you the Democrat, or you Republican, it's gonna save you from anything. The system you under is fucked. Like, this is some corrupt shit, but people think you talking some bullshit.
That's
though, you know what I mean?
That's some of the shit that's coming out right now with all this ruckus, man. A lot of this shit is being brought to light.
Everybody, we all under the same rules. No matter how much paper you got, they had the motherfucking, what was the curfew? Sunday and Monday?
Yeah, 7 p.m. Get your ass in the house.
Y'all didn't have a curfew. And here in Grand Rapids, West Michigan, our curfew was like what?
7 p.m.
7 to 5 a.m., right?
Yep.
Started Sunday and Monday.
Get your black ass in the house.
It didn't specify.
Get in the house.
It didn't specify who was under it. It said everybody. Do you feel me? So that's my thing. Like, I think people, when they put success in their mind, I think they make it seem like that's gonna save them from something. It's not gonna save you. No matter how much paper you got, no matter what it is, depending on the color of your skin, you in for some shit. We all treat
everybody was on fucking quarantine, bro.
Everybody was on quarantine. Everybody that's what I'm saying. So it's like, what really that makes you think sometimes? Like, what really is paper all that worth? Like, just to shit on somebody or stun on somebody? Especially if you ain't sharing them with your people, especially if you ain't doing nothing productive with it. You know what I mean?
If I had the yaper that could put me in a place where I got plenty of land and everything I need in my house, nigga, I wouldn't have gave a fuck about no quarantine. You got everything you need in one place, and more than enough food and delivery service. You would have been just at the crib doing what the fuck you do. You got the hoop court, you got the pool, you got the fucking field, you can target practice, shoot your guns and shit.
Yeah, but I bet when you go in the store, you still gonna put your mask on.
Yeah, fuck it.
So at the same time, you got all them rules and you got all your freedom, but you're still under the law.
Yeah, but here's one thing though. But say for instance, COVID,
they get called the police on your ass.
COVID running rampant like it is. Would you rather them not inform you? Would you rather them not put PPE in place, protective personal equipment?
Bro, with the COVID shit, I really wish they would have just let the shit run wild just like a motherfucking cold. Because it wouldn't have the hysteria and everybody wouldn't be in such an uproar. Because it's always been all type of fucking nasty viruses and shit out here. When the motherfuckers had that Ebola and SARS and shit, I mean, what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? Like, if they would have just let people because the survival rate is like 90%. You know what I mean? The news make it seem like as soon as you catch it, you about to die off the rip. That's not the case. Majority of people you surviving this shit. Now, is it real? Absolutely. I'm not being insensitive because this motherfuckers out here, the people that have died from this shit. Right, so you know what I mean? To that, my heart goes out to everybody that has lost anybody to this shit. But if they would have just let the shit go by and not put the hysteria out there, I don't think we would have been dealing with this social distancing and people would be in such an uproar. The shit, it would have gone and passed, bro. You see what I'm saying? But that's why
disappeared during all the bullshit.
That's why influence is the biggest power on earth, bro. Everybody was influenced that if you get this COVID shit, your ass gonna die. No matter how much numbers come out and how much shit evidence is out here that you gonna be alright. The pandemonium was out here, and they showed the body bag and all these motherfuckers
took all the tissue
and made you fucking fear everything.
Yeah, all the hand
goddamn tissue
and all the Lysol wipes.
Thank you. You know what I mean?
That's all the shit you need to survive. Nobody bought soap though. It's okay. Cool Cola says success, in my opinion, is the ability to find fulfillment in a lifestyle or result that acts as a continuous journey and not a monetary thing. Success is subject to adhere to personal happiness. And see, that's what I'm saying. It's very subjective. It's very subjective. Cherie Tober Jordan says, I think everyone's definition of success is different, and that is what makes it difficult to determine sometimes. And then Black Spider comes on some real shit, which I didn't want to start talking about, but
what he said?
Martial law is on deck.
See what I'm saying?
New World Order is in full effect.
When y'all saw them motherfucking tanks coming on them damn truck,
but I think it could potentially
that's what we here for.
Be stopped, because what's happening is the rituals and shit they perform, they've been drip feeding us the same song for decades. Nigga, this shit is not a lie. How many times you gotta hear it? You know, they can tell you Bill Cosby raped 30 women. You believe that shit? They can tell you Michael Jackson was rubbing on kids. You believe that shit if they tell you so many times. But they tell it on their fucking selves in these movies and these films and these radio and all of their actions and all of their rituals and shit going right over people's heads.
But people
drip feeding you all this
people are looking into it now.
So when it happens, you still like, what the fuck? I thought this is something that happened in the movies. Nigga,
a lot of people are.
What's about to happen?
But the masses, we actually looking into this now,
yes.
and we call it
could potentially be stopped.
That's the difference.
We could potentially stop.
I think that's the difference right there, though. B like. We calling the bullshit out.
22 bars to nigga.
Before you believed everything.
For crying out loud. You need to ship some of them to the SimpFree studio. To the home stew.
What's the nigga
nigga said she bought 22 bars of antibacterial.
You bought 22 bars of antibacterial?
That shit was just as good as soft soap.
And what you gonna do with it?
Bro, that was when the COVID shit broke out, bro. Antibacterial soap, that's how you gotta do it. You better wash your hands and just sanitize all the time. You still gotta wash your fucking hands. And have an antibacterial soap for your ass and your hands? I didn't think about that. That's genius. But I use antibacterial anyway, so I guess.
Yeah, but you know you can be too clean, right? You can wash all your good bad germs off you.
Ain't no good bad germs.
There are bad germs meant to be on your hands and on your body.
Must
to help you
must.
Fight. You know what I mean?
The stench.
It's not healthy.
Like
so you always sanitize your hands. Always wash your hands.
Is the smell of cheese permeating from between somebody's toes? Is that good bacteria?
Yeah, that's a body defense.
Because it smell bad.
That's a defense.
That's a defense from...
To keep you the fuck away from them.
Oh, okay.
You ain't gonna fuck with them. If somebody smell like spoiled cheese, it's a wrap. You ain't gonna fuck with them.
I'm just saying, you saying you can be too clean, but what about the
muscle? Goddammit.
What about the little tinge that's left back?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna leave them the fuck alone.
Some of you motherfuckers need to scrape.
So now let me ask you this: if you made it to
not y'all though, we know y'all don't scrape. Boss Bread Bowley was good, fam.
What up though, fam? That's family right there.
Bowley said we live in the same year over and over. Bro. This stunts human evolution, bro, and we started on the evolution of human beings, man.
We're in a Netflix episode, bro.
Bro, they're just waiting for us to evolve, man. We the ones out here bullshitting, but let's go ahead. Let's keep it moving, G.
So what if you a motherfucker? So what do you think about people that sell out their people and talk shit about their people and down their people just to get a bag?
They don't have.
Do you see it changing now though?
No integrity. No integrity.
Yeah.
They have nothing to stand on. They have nothing they believe in now. I know some people do what they got to do because they absolutely need to take care of some other people, so you might have to bite the bullet and do some shit you don't want to do. Life can be tricky like that sometimes. The universe is a bitch. But if you just taking bags and turning your people down just so you can make a financial gain and get one up on somebody, and you got no good intent whatsoever, you have your reward already, man.
That used to be a very lucrative position, though. Like, people that sold their people out, talked that shit, they made a very good living, healthy living, but guess what? It's not necessary no more. And we always say it's because of platforms like this, SimpFree Podcasts, all other type of YouTube platforms, any other podcast. It's so much fucking information to where you can fucking cipher it out and really get game from each and every area. Like, you not just, most people just will watch the TV, the goddamn news, and think that is the gospel. Yeah.
Hey, listen, let me put it like this.
The news was every fucking thing.
Never put both your ears in one basket.
You hear me?
You know what I mean? Never put both your ears in one headphone, dog. You got to have multiple channels of information. And then you can decipher the disinformation that's encoded in between the information you're receiving. But people have to sit and do that. But people are too emotional, a lot of people, and they just take what they hear and they run with it. Some people don't have the consciousness to be like, hold on. Because they always said our whole life, nigga, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
Yeah.
It's a reason for that.
But, and another thing too, let's be honest. How many people is really willing to give up their livelihood though, if it really go down?
Not many.
You know what I mean? Seriously though.
Not many.
That's some real shit you have to really sit and think about. Because you can be as revolutionary as you want to.
It's a lot of people
if you're not self-sustaining.
I don't know.
I
gotta take this back though, because for those people that were out there standing up to those powers that be, that take a lot of bravery, man. That shit wasn't no game. Those people got hurt, bro. Those people got shot with shit and pepper sprayed and hit over the fucking head and trampled and slammed and pushed and shoved in the shit. That shit, some people are willing to sacrifice their livelihood.
Yeah, because we talked about it though. Because
I'm thinking this show that, yeah, but this showed that there might be more people willing to sacrifice their livelihood than we think.
Which was some dope shit. But at the same time,
there you go. That's what the fuck I wanted to do. It was some dope shit,
but that's what I'm saying. The energy, the energy, the loot, all that shit. I'm with all that shit. That shit had to happen. You got to tear this motherfucker up. But But when it becomes
What
obvious, when it
what
becomes
does tearing
obvious
up
that
your
it's a
own
program,
neighborhood? See,
that's when I got an issue.
Okay, so let me put it like
it's
this.
It's not your own neighborhood.
Why didn't? Okay, so this was a police brutality issue. This was a systemic issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that was the case, everything should have been targeted at that system. Around the globe, there shouldn't have been shoe stores and Walmarts and fucking small restaurants and bars being looted. It should have been, if this was the case, if our focus was where it should have been in the first place, it should have been court buildings and county buildings and police departments would have been the target. But instead, motherfuckers was targeting their own community where they shop and eat. And now they got to drive through there with their children and let their children look at what the fuck they just did or what they let other people come from out of town and do.
And that's why I'm saying they played on your heartstrings, and it really was a game. Like you said, a lot of the motherfuckers that started this shit was agent provocateurs. They didn't live in that community. They didn't give a fuck. A lot of people was paid to break shit. A lot of people was paid to start the shit. So it make it seem like you the savage and you really tearing up your own community when you're not. Mm-hmm. A lot of the motherfuckers that was tearing up the shit in the community wasn't from there. That's the thing. And that's the part about this system, which I'm saying is the evil part. It's never going to change. You can't win for losing. Like, you want to start a revolution. You feel good. Like, we all came together. The energy was great. And then you find out it's agents. There's motherfuckers like them sabotaging shit.
Always have been.
It always will be.
It
always fucking happens. So it's like, how can you trust anything? And then if you got people willing to sell you out, because there's always somebody willing to give up your spot and willing to tell on you.
Gee, it's possible though.
You know what I mean?
It's possible to make it better, 100 times better than what it is now.
The motherfuckers in charge.
I ain't saying everybody got to be in fucking perfect harmony in heaven on earth, but shit can be better than what it is right now.
When motherfuckers make a change to laws without nothing happening, that's when shit'll get better.
Tony Rain says, I put my life on the line daily since this started. I said I'd rather die than to stay quiet. Preach, sister. I appreciate that. Boss Bird Bowley says, just like how they brought, what do you say, tissue for a respiratory infection? Sheep? What? Just like how they brought tissue for a respiratory infection. Sheep.
Hey, listen.
You got to break that down for me.
Oh, he's saying like they went and bought all the tissues, like that really was gonna help your ass
for a respiratory infection. And there, thank you, Bowley. Of course, I should have known how you was wording in my G. Yeah, sheep, sleep sheep too.
Yeah, sleep like a motherfucker. Bought all the wrong shit.
Fucking counting shit. What the fuck you gonna do with some tissue when you're coughing your damn lungs?
But there's always gonna be motherfuckers willing to sell their people out for what we're talking about. Success.
And that's unfortunate.
For their version of success.
But if you pay attention,
they doing better than they people.
But if you pay attention, and if you get your people together,
oh shit, excuse me, people.
You can decipher who the fucking sleepers are, man. The energy is there. You can't hide the fakeness from too many real motherfuckers. Get enough real motherfuckers around you. The fake one gonna stick out like a sore thumb.
Bro, it's a lot of people was in denial though. They didn't want to believe it.
That's
they
heard you. That's the problem.
They heard you.
That's the problem.
And didn't want to believe it. See, that's what I like about this though.
That's the problem.
This has brought everything to the forefront. Shit done got turned up. And what this was a test run.
Somebody pay attention.
This ain't the real revolution, and this ain't when shit really gonna start turn up. But this is a glimpse of what it's gonna take and how organized you have to be.
Your ass, my bad.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This is how organized you have to be when you're really ready to turn up. And the real thing is, and I'm including myself in this. Are you willing to lose your spot? You know what I mean? Your livelihood for the greater good of your people. Are you really ready to turn up? Because when you turn up and you go against corporations, that's an act of terrorism. You know what I mean? Especially if all of you black and you all coming together and working in a unison, because that has never happened.
And the system needs to be
like, you really got to be ready, and you really got to ask yourself, how willing are you to lose your livelihood, the job you have? And we all, and I ain't putting pointing fingers at nobody. I'm in the same boat.
And I'm gonna put y'all up on this too. Pay attention. Symbolism is gonna be the downfall. Pay attention.
Symbolism?
Symbolism is going.
It already is.
To be their downfall.
Like Black Lives Matter.
Learn what the symbols are.
Black
Pay attention
Lives Matter
to the symbols
symbolism.
And follow them, and you'll find the bullshit.
All the motherfuckers with Black Lives Matter don't believe in Black Lives Matter.
You can point them out. Once you learn what the symbols are, you know exactly who you fucking with. You know exactly who to look for.
Hey,
Pay
man.
attention, people.
Hey,
This is
so,
real spit, though. I ain't gonna get too deep into shit like that, but
no, that's some real
symbolism
shit.
is gonna be their downfall.
It's already here, bro.
Because it's gonna expose who they are, and we're gonna find them, and they're just gonna be eliminated, unfortunately.
Hey, when you're willing to
It's
risk
a
it
necessary
all,
evil.
when you're willing to risk it all, it's gonna be worth it, though. I'm gonna say that. You know what I mean? When the energy is really genuine. This right here, this movement is not genuine. This is, unfortunately.
I know there are
I felt like
millions
it was.
of people who had genuine interest, and I know the peaceful protesters did have genuine interest, but the peaceful protests did create attention, but it created a cover-up for what the fuck the real intentions was for others. You see what I mean? That was like the perfect backdrop for people to cause destruction.
This is another like fucking 9/11 type shit. It's another.
But on ground
it's
level,
another. You know what I mean? It's a different way of doing it, and this is an experiment, unfortunately. And they play at the heartstrings once again.
Gee, these damn heartstrings, boy.
Seriously, but that's what makes me so mad.
But now, bro, they've also
Why
put on
does
the
it take a
heartstrings
black-
of others because this shit is now
No.
going on globally.
This shit didn't happen before somebody black got their motherfucking life choked out.
Listen, nigga, I understand.
That's what I'm saying.
This
Like, why
shit
does
didn't
that
happen
happen
for Amari and what was the young
Yeah,
lady's
thank
name?
you.
I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
know
Amari
it didn't happen for them.
How come nobody turned? Why
And
did
it didn't happen
turn
for
like
them,
that?
the thousands and thousands of
Way
men
before
before
that.
that, or the others before that. So we can't say that, damn, why didn't it happen with them? Let's be thankful that it happened for Floyd to start at least bringing some global attention to this fucking problem. I'm thankful for that. No matter how fucked up it was or what was staged, all the fuck bullshit, the fact that it brought attention to something that has to stop
Is what's necessary.
is what's necessary.
But
At
is
the
it
end
the
of the
right
day,
attention?
whatever they tried to do, they got global attention on an issue that has to fucking stop.
Yeah.
That's all that matters to me right now.
But when it's
Because we can't take
co-opted-
back what's been done.
But when it's
co-opted,
co-opted, how genuine is it?
so
though?
now we got to determine
Now
how
it's
we
not
gonna move
genuine.
now. So now we got to see. That's the problem, though.
That's the scary part to
Motherfuckers,
me.
now we got to organize again,
Listen.
undercover, to figure out what we gonna do next.
That's the scary part.
And I don't even
And
know
you
where to start with
that. When the real revolution start, you're going to have to get rid of these. You hear me? The code is gonna have to be everybody in unison.
Listen
in
to this
the
nigga,
motherfucking
Broly.
universe. You gonna have to get rid of these bitches because you can't
Yeah,
put
these
the
guys,
code.
yeah.
You can't put the code and the plan out on the net.
Going off the grid, though, that's how you
You
get
gotta
lost.
go off the grid.
If you go
You
off the
can't put
grid,
the code on
you
this
gonna get caught
motherfucker.
sleeping.
You
Go off
do.
the grid, you getting caught sleep.
That's why that shit happening now.
You can't throw technology out the window and win.
You
Not
gotta
these
have
days.
it, but in the revolution, technology is gonna get you done because this is got you.
It's got you.
Anywhere you roll with this motherfucker, you done.
Now we can reconfigure some shit, which everything that can be done can be undone. We can figure that out. Boss Bear Broly said, before we go rebel, before we can rebel, we need to figure out who knows necessity, grocery, financial,
Nobody,
healthcare,
Broly.
military,
None of us.
human resources, etc.,
None of us.
etc. Minneapolis started, and Americans followed.
And let me tell you something.
That's real shit.
If it was a whole bunch of black farmers in the city,
It's
right,
real shit,
and the
bro.
crops was booming, and all the
Real
black
shit,
folks
dude.
went there, and we never went to Meyer, and we never went to any of the big other corporations, and we always went to the black farmers that had the fresh produce. They had set them bitches on fire. Do you hear me? That's what we got to be ready for. You feel me? And that's where the mindset gonna change. As a people, black folk, we not necessarily naturally evil. So we just thinking about helping the community. We like what shit. There's a bunch of the vacant lots. Why not turn them into fucking gardens? It's like, doesn't it make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So you do that, right? And the whole city, the whole community comes there,
And get
and you
fruits
buy
and
some
veggies
shit
dirt cheap.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you never and Meyer and all them big corporations is losing. I don't even want to keep putting Meyer out there, but I'm gonna just say big corporations
There you go.
are losing money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that becomes a problem. Now your
okay, though.
now your seeds are defective,
that's okay, though.
and now your crops
Nope.
are on fire.
Nope, 'cause
And that's where the people got to be ready.
We can prepare for that. We
And
can
that-
create our own seed banks, and we can create our own undercover co-op shit. Nigga, fuck that. I don't want to hear that shit that we can't have nothing. We can do what they can do, but better. We just have to fucking get on the level
You
of
said the key
consciousness to where
word.
we can link
You said the key word.
and move.
Undercover.
That that's until we get up top.
It
We
has
gotta
to be
move undercover right now.
Thank you. But
Right now.
a lot of people want to be
Until
in the
the
forefront.
takeover happens.
A lot of people want to be in the forefront and say, "Look what I did,"
Listen,
and then
man,
you
you
bring
gonna have
attention
to
to
get
your
people,
situation,
Jamu.
and then you done.
He said, G is right. For a real revolution, people have to be ready for absolutely
You got to
any and
lose it
everything
all.
and sacrifice and everything. Yeah. that's
How
true.
many of
I
us
know.
willing to do it?
I know.
And I'm included into it. Because when you feeling good, when you eating good, and you know what I mean, it's hard to lose your livelihood. But you got to be willing to give it up. And this ain't the time. I'm going to just say that. That's my whole point in this. This ain't the time right now because this is not genuine. Like, it started off as some peaceful shit, and it then fucking transferred into some shit I can't explain. You know what I mean? I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the facts. So you can say I'm full of shit. But my energy and my feelings is this is not it. Like, this is co-opted. It's way too unison. It's way too much fuck shit that's happening with this to just make me skeptical. I'm sorry.
I think it's the beginning of something.
It's a start. It's a start.
It's definitely a dynamic shift. I don't know what's coming next, but something is changing. Something is up.
Salute to Tariq Nasheed for saying
something the fuck is up.
This makes the price of an ass whooping or somebody dying and losing their life that's unarmed, it makes it expensive. If every time they kill somebody unarmed, and especially black, I'm gonna say black because they always say people of color. Fuck all that. Just say what it is. When they kill a black motherfucker,
bro, and then
no, fuck all that. I don't want to hear that. But nothing that's turned up until they kill the black that shit either. The black motherfuckers is what got this shit turned up. So and that's the shit that keep happening. So I'm gonna be honest and say black folk. When they keep killing us, and then everybody turns up like this, whether it's co-opted or not. That's a great thing because that costs them money. I don't give a fuck what they got to say. Bringing the military and the National Guard, that costs money. They're not going to keep doing that shit every time. You know what I mean? Right. When they're willing to whoop your ass for stealing the candy bar. They will choke the life out of your ass for stealing some shit out of a corner store.
So bring them in permanently.
You think you're going to go to their businesses and keep fucking them up and throwing bricks to them and their shit going to fly without bullets flying, you out your mind. Stay on your square. Be about it. Don't think that just because you hung on your horse and you're doing good in life, you safe. None of us are safe. And that's the point. And I'm not pointing fingers at nobody. I'm talking about me. I got to live with the shit too. Because, you know what I mean? Sometimes you fall in your own livelihood. It feel good to, be doing all right and feel like you different. You're not different. We all in this system. And that's what the SimpFree podcast is here for. And before I leave, can I do a cash out real quick before we get out of here? We about to get the fuck up out of here.
Sandwiches, your whole ass.
We about to get up out of here.
Cash App tap, what it is?
Hey, before we go,
make it snappy.
I want to give some money out. I'm going to say this.
Hey, man, did you fix that last situation?
I did. We good.
Okay.
Everybody got their favorite that fuck with me. Listen, y'all already know about Gator shoes, right? Gator shoes, Maury Gators. Where is the name derived from? Maury.
That's right, Jamo. People can make a change when they organize.
Cash App. First one to hit the Cash App. Maury Gators. Where is it derived from? Where did they get that from?
Why
is Maury Gators named Maury Gators? Where does that name come from?
Oh, man.
Maury.
Do I get the answer?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Maury Gators. The players know about Maury Gators.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Motherfuckers know about Gator shoes. You feel me? I ain't never had no pair of Gators.
I ain't gonna get none.
Those are some expensive ass shoes.
And they ugly.
The bitches cold though.
I'm straight.
Just because they Gators. Maury Gators, where did they come from?
I ain't that old. I ain't in my 70s. I don't need no fucking Gators.
I want to know what it's about.
I don't be stepping in the name of love.
Maury Gators.
I don't need no Gators.
Or what about the Silk Road? Are y'all on the Silk Road? Are you familiar with the Silk Road?
You talking about some Detroit shit?
No.
Yes, you is.
This is history.
Nigga, I know Maury's is...
Maury's is not Detroit.
Okay, bro.
Maury started a long time ago.
Where at, G?
I don't want to get answers. There you go. You trying to bait me.
How you know about Maury's then?
Man,
you didn't learn about him in Detroit?
My guy. I'm a historian.
You didn't learn about Maury Gators in Detroit?
You feel me?
You did not learn about Maury.
Being in Detroit, I know about some motherfucking Gator shoes.
Okay, nigga.
Listen, I know about Gator shoes.
Fuck I'm saying, nigga. Don't be acting
What's the origin of Maury's, man? What they say?
And they don't want no money, man.
What about the Silk Road?
What the fuck is the Silk Road, man?
See, you gotta know, man. I'm not about to tell you. I'm not about to tell you, man.
Hold on. I learned today that there's 50 people to one police officer, which means that they're in fear of us taking over. Yeah, they're scared shitless.
Wait, what does it say?
That's why they got to call the National Guard, because them motherfuckers is trained to kill.
Read that one more time.
Tony Rain said, I learned today that there's 50 people to one police officer, which means that they're in fear of us taking over. Yeah.
That would make sense, too.
I actually think it's more than that.
But when they have the power...
Silk Road is black market, Black Spider says.
Kinda.
Silk Road is a knockoff block, like Canal in New York.
No, Silk Road is where the motherfuckers back in the day, they traded garments. You know, like that's where fashion came from. You know, it started it led from Italy all the way down through Asia.
Streets.
Yeah, the Silk Road. They traded garments and the Moors brought that to Italy and brought it to Europe. That's where I'm gonna tell people that's where Maori gators come from. The word Maori means Moorish. When Moor mean black.
I know that.
They brought that to Europe. They brought the style and the fashion.
And alligator skin.
Yeah,
shoes?
because alligators are not indigenous to Europe.
That's correct. Wow.
They brought more. That's where Maori gators come from.
Look at that. Look at G.
Hey man, I'm dropping knowledge, man.
When he do how many people when he do some research.
You hear me? I always do research, bro. I'm always on top, man.
Won't believe it.
Yeah, but shit.
And look at that cool caller say he ain't know that one.
See, thank you.
And they are scared we'll take.
That's what this show is for, man. But listen, we about to get the fuck up out of here. This was a great conversation. I'm sweating. Y'all see me? I'm hot than the motherfucker, man.
Yeah, man. You know.
Hey, man, don't fall for the flim, the whammy bammy. Like, be smart, man. Just keep your head on the swivel and watch this show this revolution having to be televised. Because all of our minds, I think, are made up. Especially the ones that watch the SimpFree podcast. We know what it is. We ain't falling for the games. Thank y'all for tuning in for another Wednesday, man. My man, hey, man, this my dude, Be Easy. This my brother.
Man, y'all know what it is, man. I'm sorry. I'm over here editing, messing with shit.
It's fine.
Get out of here.
We out, man. It's that boy Wizz.
Hey, y'all have a good night. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to shout out Tony Rain, please.
The Rain of
Tony.
Please
shout out Tony Rain. I love you. TonyRain.com. Go TonyRain.com. The best multi-uses body cream on earth, hair and body. Yeah, go visit. She got a book as well. I was supposed to be nothing. Please visit TonyRain.com. Any other black business you know. I hope any other business that's small, they survive through the bullshit. If you didn't survive, that's part of the game. The revolution is not televised. We out here. And we all got to figure this shit out, man. We out, man.
Next
SimpFree
week.
Podcast. Please catch us 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. We coming again. Everybody watching the playback, thank you. For our day one, thank you. And next week, I'm going to just say the first motherfucker put their Cash App in the thing. I'm going to just drop y'all off, man.
And I'm going to get this.
I'm coming with some shit that you can't just Google so easy.
G, we are. Still ass.
Yeah. Please. I love you. I'm ready. My brother, man. Love this show, bro. Already. And if you feel like it, hit our Cash App.
Hit the Cash App. Right there. Yeah, that's it right there. You see it.